it's Raquel here today with you, and what I'm doing is just doing a quick tutorial using the Cocoa Vanilla cut files. So what I'm doing today is I was going to do a print and cut with you, and unfortunately I don't know why, but nothing was turning out how I wanted it to, and I wasn't able to get it to work. And I will get it to work and I will teach you soon, but until I have time to fiddle around, I will have to show you that later. But what I did was I have opened up a new sheet and I've changed it to a letter size, because what I'm actually going to do with you today is using the new Cocoa Vanilla Studio cut files with the Colour Me Happy collection. I'm going to print them using my laser printer, and then I'm going to show you how I will Minc them and fussy cut them out to feature on a layout. Now ideally, obviously, I would like to be able to print and cut them to take away that fussy cutting, but for the purpose of this tutorial and to save myself the stress of getting my print and cut to work, which normally it does, so I'm not sure why it's not, but anyway, I'm going to show you how I do it minus the cut step with the software and using my scissors to cut. So this is the actual sheet that I'm going to be using, and I'll just show you how I manipulated the cut files to fit on this sheet. So I've opened up a new sheet and I've gone and selected my cut files, which are all grouped together, and then what I've done is I've right clicked and ungrouped that lot of cut files, and I've simply deleted by holding shift and clicking on the ones I didn't want, any that I didn't want, and just click delete. I'm only going to show you with this one here just for the purpose of this tutorial. So once I've deleted what I didn't want, then I simply resized to the size that I was after. So I was wanting to make quite a feature of this cut file, and what will happen by minking it is any of these black areas, if I print this file on my laser printer, will then react with the foil and will become foilable items. So that's exciting. So I'm just going to rotate this to the side so that I can make it bigger like that. And then what I'll simply do is select my printer, so go to File, Print, select my laser printer, which is I've got a Brother, it's an older printer that I picked up off eBay for quite a good price. And then I will change because I'm using a heavy cardstock, I'll change my print settings so that I've got a thick paper and it's a manual feed. So I'm going to cancel this one because I actually want to print this page here. And I think now that I'm not printing and cutting it, I might make everything that little bit bigger, because I was being conservative to fit everything inside the registration marks of the cut file. But now that I don't have to worry about that, I can actually make this a little bit bigger by selecting everything and just dragging to the size that I'm after. I do want to keep in mind that I want to be able to maybe Minc this Shine Bright a certain colour, and then some of the other bits and pieces another colour. So I don't want them to go too close to each other. And I'm also going to, I think now, add some extras because I can, and because it just simply means I've got more to fussy cut. It doesn't mean I've got more to print and cut, since that wasn't playing nicely today. So I think I'll copy and paste. Actually, I might. Oh, I don't know what happened just then. I might get rid of that one. Maybe do another one of those. And I might right click that and flip it so that it's going the other way. So maybe if I Just trying to squeeze in as much as I can onto this sheet now. And then I think what I'll do is sit in front of the TV later and cut them out. So I've got a few of the leaves. I might do another one of those. And normally what I will do if I am minking and I'm doing different sections, I will try and give a little bit of a sort of separation of, to make it a bit easier on myself to be able to mink different colors. So for example, if on a sheet of paper I wanted all of these leaves here to be one color, and then I wanted this section here to be one color, the floral piece, and then I wanted this title to be another color, then if I separate it on this page here, when I'm printing it, it makes it a lot easier to cut pieces of foil to fit those sections perfectly. So I'm going to now print this sheet, and then I will take you over to my desktop to show you how I'll apply the foil to this printed piece, and then I'll run it through my Minc and show you the end result. Okay, so surprise, surprise, I thought that I would use the gold Minc foil to do this project, and I was going to change it up and create maybe a different coloured piece, but I don't really know if I want to now. Alright, what I think I'll do, I'm deciding on the spot now, putting myself under pressure, is I think that I will mink the leaves, and I haven't put that very nicely back into my, I think I'll mink the leaves, and then I will mink this in the pink foil that I have. So I'm going to cut a line across here to get my piece of foil straight. And the foil is so fragile. Now, one thing I've found with the success of minking is that any dust particles, which I don't really want it on my good cloth, but any dust particles that are on this page will not mink properly. So you can see here I do have some flecks within my piece. See those white spots? They're not going to mink because there isn't any toner for them to react with. Same with some of the bits here. It's not going to be a perfect result, but it will look pretty cool. So I'm going to be happy no matter what with how it turns out. So I'm just going to cut this across so that I have all of the leaves and floral pieces will react with this foil colour. And then I'm going to just pause the camera for a minute and go and grab my pink foil. Okay, so I've grabbed out my pink foil, and this is a 12-inch foil as well. And I'm just going to carefully, they do come with sort of, I haven't opened this one before, they do come with a bit of a sticker which sort of voids the piece of foil that's underneath that sticker. It's unable to be used, and it's quite a pain to get off, but I know that once I do I'll have pretty foil to use. Okay, there we go. So sort of just going to hang that bit off the edge because I know that that's just not even going to work. And then I'm going to cut this piece, and I know I could cut it smaller, and when I first got my foil and my Minc, I was being very conservative with the amount of foil I used, and it's not that I'm being wasteful now, it's just it is very, very fiddly, the foil, to get exactly perfect or the right exact size. So what I'm also going to do before I lay this down is just wipe this with my hand, because as I said, it had some toner on it and dusty bits on it, and that won't make a nice minkable piece. So I'm going to flatten that down, and then I'm going to do the same with this piece, remembering to put the bit that I've cut off the edge. Don't be mean, stay off the edge of the page, because it doesn't like dust and it doesn't like yucky bits. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is pop that into my carrier sheet, and I'm going to pop that through my Minc. I'm going to do it long ways just to make it a bit easier on myself. And yep, so I'm going to turn my Minc on. I'll put this through my Minc on probably a heat setting 3, I think is a general heat setting, and then I will be back and show you the result. Okay, so it's time for the big reveal. So I've run this through my Minc Machine on a number 3 setting, and remembering that, as I mentioned before, some of the actual designs are a little bit splotchy, so I know that it's going to have some imperfections, but I'm hoping, it's hard to tell with that camera actually that that's gold, but it is. I'm hoping that this has turned out beautifully. Look at that. Ooh, so pretty. So now, oh my gosh, that looks amazing on the camera. How exciting. So now what my job to do is to, and I think the glare from my glasses is probably not helping too. For now, my job to do is to fussy cut this out, and then use, oh look, that looks really pretty as well. Look at that. Fussy cut out the pieces, and then I'm going to use them on a layout. So my thoughts with my layout, and I really haven't got a lot at this stage, but I do know that I am thinking that I'll use parts of the Colour Me Happy collection, because that's why I chose sort of the gold and this pink foiled colour. And then there's some embellishments and things that coordinate with that as well. But what I'm going to do is do my fussy cutting, and then I will speed you up and create a layout using these pieces. Okay, so what I end up doing is I just start to cut out the flowers individually, and just I'm doing that quite messily, and you know, as long as I'm not cutting off bits of the other leaves, then that's okay. And I'm just cutting around and leaving a white border around the edge of each of the pieces. Now it's really windy here today, so I hope you can't hear the wind in the background. I apologize if you can, but I can't stop the wind, so sorry. Anyway, so there you can see that beautiful foiled leaf, and then what I've done off camera is I decided that I would sort of make a feature of all of the cut file pieces and sort of do a bit of a circular design. So I was just playing around, and I tried a vertical design and I tried a horizontal design with all of the pieces layered up, and I did try a lot of things off camera just to see what I was thinking might work. And then I ended up deciding on that circular design, and I was going to, or had in my mind that I might stitch it. But at this stage, I hadn't done that yet. So I wanted to add a bit of a pop of pink into the page because I'd used that pink foil. So I looked at the snippets in the Colour Me Happy collection and I've cut out a couple of pieces. I've kept the embellishing really to a minimum on this page because the foiling is such a statement that I didn't want to add lots of other colours, and I didn't want to add anything that might have taken away from the beautiful detail in the foil. So I've added a pink matte on my photo, which was just with one of the pattern papers, and then I've added a couple of pink arrows and a pink label in the top left corner, as well as that You and Me, which I punched out with the 1-inch punch that I have in my stash. And then I cut out one of those word labels, which are just like your tiny word stickers, except you have to cut them out yourself. And then I found that cute little EXO flare, which is pink as well, that I've added to the bottom. Now what I'm doing is I'm using my very fancy maths compass, which I have had for so long now, it's just crazy. And I've drawn a circle. And I think the circle was around 10 inches, maybe a bit smaller. And I've just drawn that with my pencil and then gone and stitched around it a few times on my sewing machine. And I did it a few times, so the circle a few times, just to minimize needing to be overly neat and perfect around that circle. And I like that stitching it a few times gives it a lot more detail, and you can tell a lot more because I'm stitching white on white if I do it more than once. Now what I'm working on is I'm adhering my cut file pieces, my beautiful foiled pieces, and I'm just adhering those with a thinner Scotch, I think it's Scotch foam tape, and I just wanted to use a tape just because it makes life a lot easier. I was going to use some foam dots, but they were a bit too thick, so I used this tape which is slightly thinner. And with the leaves that I'm putting around the upper part of that circle, I'm adhering sort of the stem of the leaf with the quick dry, as you can see there from my fine line bottle, and then the top part of that with foam adhesive. So it's sort of multi-dimensional, those leaves. So they're flat against the cardstock at the stem, and then they're raised up a little bit on the leaves, and I like the effect that sort of brings. It's subtle, but you can still tell that they're a bit dimensional. I'm using my T-square ruler just to make sure that I'm adhering my photo mat straight, and that's got one of the doilies from my stash and then a gold one from the Colour Me Happy collection. And now I'm just adding that beautiful pink foiled title. So that I use that same foam tape that I've used for the rest. So where the title is will sort of be double dimensional because it will have 2 layers of that foam adhesive, one under the die cut and then one under that title, Shine Bright. And I was trying to figure out where to put this because obviously I didn't want to cover up that beautiful cut file underneath, but I did want it to sort of wrap around that bottom part of that circle. So I am happy with how it turned out in the end. It's a different layout for me, I think, because the design is maybe a lot simpler, but I really wanted obviously to make a feature of that foil and those cut files, which are available in the Cocoa Vanilla store. So they're a downloadable purchase that you can make, and I definitely recommend that you check them out because they are gorgeous. And I'm going to leave you now. There you can see my shiny page. And I'm going to leave you with some close-ups, and I'll be back soon with some more videos. So thanks for watching, and thank you for your likes and comments. Bye.